If there's someone you're thinking about in your life that isn't in your life right now, but you would like them to be in your life and you're just not sure how to bring that about, I'm going to show you how I would go about bringing that person into your life, even if that person doesn't want to be in your life. And these may or may not work depending on the context. So I have previously mentioned before, if you want to get like a girl you want, or if you want to get the guy you want if you're a lass, there's like these two steps. The first step is you need to have the belief that you can. For example, Donald Trump, he could end the war in Ukraine tomorrow. He could. Why? Simply because he has the belief that he can. And all he has to do is take the steps to get in that position. The second thing you would need is you need to have the ability to transmutate a no into a yes. And there's multiple variations about how you can go about doing that. It's like infinite. There's infinite ways you can do this. And I've actually given some examples before, such as leverage. Leverage is one way to bring about some type of a yes. You know, this could be through pressure, this could be through money, this could be through just simply caving into someone's desires, you know. But we're going to go much deeper here, and I'm going to show you some even more like different ways to bring about that person into your life, even if they're not interested. I'm going to assume that you are smart enough to know what to do by yourself without actually needing these so-called tactics and without really needing these so-called people to teach you, such as myself. You are smart enough, and that's why you're here, because if you're looking at this, just be warned, when you're looking to try and find someone to bring into your life, even if you haven't actually met anyone, or that person that you're thinking of doesn't want you in their life right now, be very wary of the trap of looking at dating advice and tips and tricks and even subjects on YouTube such as narcissism. Do not follow or look at the advice. Do not look at dating advice. What the fuck is wrong with this texter? So don't fall into the trap of looking at dating advice to help you in your problems. This is only good if you have like zero knowledge and zero experience. Then go for this. If you're like a noob and you have no idea what to do, because then you can have some ground. But just be warned that this, unfortunately, will only apply to 1% or less of an infinite variation of scenarios that you're going to come across. Are you literally going to go do pickup artists and stuff like in the shopping mall? Are you literally going to, you know, get a phone number of every woman you see? Or if you're a lass, are you literally, it's definitely easier for a lady to do this, but are you literally going to be doing this with your co-workers, for example? Like, dating advice mostly is not applicable. 99% of it, unfortunately. Same with narcissism, because if you want to change the relationship between you and your narcissist companion, first of all, it's important to distinct them. Are they actually a diagnosed narcissist? Or are you just saying that and blaming them and like blaming them for all the problems? Even if they are dark, even if they are toxic, that doesn't mean that they're a narcissist. Everyone's a narcissist. And I would ask myself, if I was in a dark spot, what did I do that put me in that position to begin with? What did I do that made that person believe that it was okay to act narcissistically towards me? And then also try to avoid too many of these books, videos on YouTube, courses, especially TikTok, talking about breakup advice and things like this. Try to avoid that, because the main reason you want to do that is because only 1% or less is actually going to be applicable to your situation. Everything is in context. So when I was first starting out my journey, I discovered that your thoughts lead to your feelings. And this is true. And it's interchangeable. They go like that. And it just keeps on spinning around in circles. You might feel something first, and then you might think about it, and then you might feel even more so. And your feelings often compel you to take some type of action This can even be in the form of inaction, so you decide to do nothing. And then often through the action comes the result. Okay, so if you've ever read books such as The Secret, which is a book, or books such as Think and Grow Rich, they'll often tell you that the secret to successfully manifest, or even manifestation books, manifestation, and often manifestation gets this wrong, but often what you'll see in common is that they often point towards thoughts. Thoughts are the things that bring about into fruition the thing that you want. So if you keep thinking about your boyfriend, or if you keep thinking about your girlfriend or your ex, or you just like someone to be in your life, simply doing this is sufficient to bring about that thing. But that's not 100% true, because we're missing pieces. There's pieces to the puzzle here that we need to connect. But this is true, but it's only partially true. So if you walk outside and you look out the buildings in front of you, you might see a house, you might see an apartment, you might see the road. This stuff originated in thought. It came in the thought. It didn't just appear out of nowhere. It did come indeed from the mind first. So if you want a boyfriend, if you want a girlfriend, if you want to be with someone special, if you want to be treated with respect, etc., it does originate here. And this is important. So you do have to think about the thing you want. Be careful though, because if you think about the thing that you don't want, you're also still thinking about the same thing. So if I say don't think about a purple giraffe, you're going to still think about a purple giraffe, very likely, because your mind doesn't necessarily tell the difference between what is not and what is. They're just kind of the same thing, especially the subconscious mind. Purple giraffe. Or can you think about an elephant with 2 legs doing star jumps and his big trunk is swinging left and right? It's like when I say, I don't want to eat KFC, I don't want to eat KFC, and then I just end up driving through the drive-thru because I'm still fixated on KFC. And there's a reason for this. It's because the dopamine craving wants you to take action. Thoughts often compel you to take action. The thing that actually gets you what you want is doing or action. So if you're thinking about a building being constructed, and you may even be a builder and you have the blueprints and you're building it, is it the thinking about it that actually brings into fruition the building itself? No, it is the action that does this. So the thoughts have to lead to this. Now, there's actually a bridge here. Feelings. Feelings always come first before the action is taken. This could be in the form of a craving. This could be in the form of desire. This could be in the form of pleasure. This could, like any type of feeling. This could be in the form of intensity, hatred, scared, feeling. There's always feelings. And often these two go in circles with each other. So it's thoughts, feelings, actions. And then the action leads to the result. That is what brings about the building. This right here is what brings about having your boyfriend or girlfriend. So right now, maybe you're thinking about your ex, or maybe right now you're thinking you're kind of lonely, and you're thinking about maybe you want someone special in your life. Maybe you want more than one person. Who knows? This is necessary, but not sufficient. And this is sufficient. But this doesn't really come about unless you think about it first. Sometimes, people win the lottery and it wins them $1 million because they did the action, and maybe they did think about that it might happen, But this doesn't mean wishing upon a star. You have to do the correct action. The correct action. And the only way you can go about this is, imagine there's a scale here of 0 to 10. Now these are both extremes. Extreme. And let's say you have an argument with someone. You could either go cold and shut down, or you could just argue and be violent. And you just never want to do that. You always want to be somewhere in the middle, you know, somewhere compassionate, curious. You know, for example, like whatever it is you're doing, whatever it is you're thinking, you always want to make sure it's this nice balanced area in the 6-5 area. You know, make sure that it's always a balanced thing. You never want to go too overboard, but you don't want to be like, no, give up. But this isn't also necessarily 100% sufficient in itself, because let's say you went through a breakup, or you want to bring someone in your life and you're just finding it extremely difficult. You're thinking about it, you feel like you can do it, you know, you feel like you're feeling, or maybe you feel like hopeless or something, and you still try to do something, and it could be incorrect, or it might be correct, but you don't realize it's actually heading in the direction that you want. So what do we do over here? So if we go back to the thoughts, where do our thoughts come from? They actually come from your interpretations. And your interpretations often come from your beliefs or your values or things like this. Basically your beliefs. And this is who you are essentially. This is who you are. A lot of people attach their identity to this very subconsciously. You might believe that vaccines are bad, for example, or you might believe vaccines are good. And often people die for their beliefs. Countries go to war for these beliefs. Religion is the same. Beliefs, beliefs, beliefs. You seem to identify yourself with this and go to war over everything else. If you believe that you can get rich, then you will get rich, because you just know it to be true. You don't really feel scared. You feel compelled to take action, or you just let things happen and it just comes your way because you believe it. But you actually do the thing too. You don't sit there going woo-woo. You actually do something. And often, this is very important, it has to be aligned action. So this is very important. Your beliefs and your actions have to match up. So your beliefs and your actions have to match up in alignment in this balance area if you want to get this thing. Because if this is not in line with your action, or if your actions are not in line with your beliefs, then you're not going to get the result. Because you could still be doing all the correct things, and you might even know that you're doing the correct things, but you don't fundamentally believe that what you're doing is going to get what you want. There's always this but. Like, I believe I could get $1 million, but I'm not cut out for that. It's just these little tiny subtle voices. And the subtle voices are extremely powerful. Subtle equals powerful. How do we know that the subtle equals powerful? Well, let's say you go to work, and work is always stressful. And you could put up with work like 99% of the time. But then when you get home, it's that one little tiny thing that just pisses you off. That one tiny little thing. And it was just a small little thing. One tiny little thing had so much power. And that's basically what's going on in your subconscious mind all the time. So all you have to do to make this 10 times easier is destroy all those little tiny beliefs in your mind telling you to take it easy, telling you need to give up, telling you, oh, but this, but that. You deserve a break, blah, blah, blah. Maybe you're not good enough. You know, just delete all that bad stuff. Make sure you're thinking about some very balanced, nuanced thing. And fundamentally be this. Because and another important factor here, when you're doing something, if you want to get the result, you have to do not because you want to have, but you do because that's who you are. You are the person who goes jogging every morning. You are the person who is able to save relationships. You are the person who is able to turn negative into positive. Even if you're smoking a cigarette, you are not a smoker. The thing is, if you're not a smoker, your actions have to line up with the belief. Or if you identify yourself as a smoker, but you don't actually smoke, then the action and the belief still don't add up. And that's why the result never happens. But essentially your beliefs have to line up with your actions, and you have to do the actions because that's who you are. That's who you believe you are. You are a good person. You are good enough. You are meant for bigger and better things, you know? And you have to tell yourself this because no one else is actually going to tell you. You can go to every other coach on the internet and they'll try and tell you the secrets of how to be successful, but they don't really go about this pattern, and 90% of the marketing is just white lies, and that's a fact. And I'm not saying that because I'm being harsh, I'm just saying that's just the way it is, because honestly, you have to actually become a 90% of a bit of a white lie. You have to change who you are. You are not your beliefs. Your identity is not this. Although it's very easy to attach yourself to your beliefs, you are not your beliefs. You're just taking a backseat. You're in a human vessel, taking a backseat and looking at what this human entity that you're controlling does. And another thing about all of these things is that every single one is a choice. Your beliefs are a choice, your thoughts are a choice, your interpretations are a choice, your feelings are a choice. Yeah, someone might yell at you, but you can still choose how to feel. Your actions are always a choice, you know? And the result is a side effect. So if you want $1 million, or if you want someone to come into your life, even if they're not interested, they will come into your life as a side effect if you have the correct beliefs followed all the way through to the correct actions, aligned action, aligned beliefs. I hope this helps because I am going to try and keep making more videos like this. I want to keep teaching people about healthy relationships. I do want to teach people about how to change their life for the better, because that's the journey that I'm also going on. Because I don't have a product to sell you right now. If you want to reach out to me one-on-one, you're welcome to do so, and I will help you in your specific situation. I don't have a course to sell you right now. I could try, but I don't want to give you rubbish. I want to be like, I have experience doing one-on-one things with people. And I want to make sure that when we're working together that I can give you the best outcome possible.